And this is Greasy Garage. Hey horse! Hey horse! Hey horse! Hey horse! Wanna join?
On and off, on and off, on and off. That's what it is with these old frickin' things.
He is not kidding. We did this about 4 times.
Maybe it's just us. We're not really used to working on these English cars. We're still learning, and everybody around here seems to be scared to work on these, but there's a lot of and do it again. But that's why we do it, because it's the hard way to do things. No professionals to tell us how to do it.
It gave us some problems to overcome as far as where everything's gonna sit, how the bracket was made, which by the way was pretty simple, because since your caliper bracket has such a close groove to the rotor passing inside, all I did was take a couple of thicknesses of cardboard, place them over the rotor, and then I slid the bracket where the cardboard was, shimming the same distance on all the sides, and it held it there pretty right secure. And that's how I got my dimensions and how far my plates were going to be. And as far as that goes, it was actually quite simple and it worked pretty good.
And for those interested, we're using Gorilla lug nuts, 12 by 1.5s. Here we have our Honda Civic caliper, brand new. Just a quick shot of paint. All the lines on this car were either hacked, borderline, not even fixed, or just rotten. So we redid all the lines on here, as well as a Willwood master brake cylinder, which just barely clears our linkage. Then under that we've got our OEM Honda Civic calipers, our 2012 Ford Fiesta rotors, and the matching brake lines for our calipers, as well as the matching flex lines for the rear as well. Any of you who know what this is, a Ford Cortina, probably knows that it came with a Kent engine from the factory, and obviously this is not a Kent engine. What we have here is a 83 Toyota Corolla engine.
Yeah, 8384, yeah.
8384 with the matching transmission, and it's not even centered. If you look underneath, you can tell that the transmission's crooked in the trans tunnel, but it seems to run fine. That would be a problem when the engine comes out and the K20 goes in, though.
We're probably going to go with something like a K20, K24. I've had one before. Past Honda I beat the living piss out of that thing and it just loved it, so I can't see why not. And on top of that, your K-Series engines turn in the proper way, in the proper rotation to run a rear-wheel drive transmission on that, which is a really big advantage. So, to do that, kmiata.com, check them out, awesome website. They sell adapter plates that will bolt onto the bell housing of your K-Series Honda, and you can either mount a BMW ZF transmission or you can put a Miata transmission because K Miata, they make it to swap a K and a Miata. Duh. So that's what we're going with. It seems to be a good setup. If you go look at Hoonigan's videos, Hurt has done the same swap in his simple seat time Stallion. Awesome build, love it. And you know, you watch videos, you learn how to do it. People have been doing it. It's a good solid swap to do, and it's different. Nobody's done it around here yet. So well, got everything on there. Studs, rotor, caliper. Put the wheel on and the wheel rubs. So we're gonna need us a wheel spacer. Rubbing on there. It's right here. So we're gonna get us an 8mm spacer. That should do the trick. Oh, that's cheap. Yep. Whole bunch of interesting facts and stuff. Yep. Worked well. Dangerous garbage. Does the job, works. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Good enough for me. Thank you. Your order has been placed. Well, this should take a while. Wait and see. Holy Amazon stepped their game up. That was quick. Get out of here. Get out of here. Awesome. Huh. There it is right there. That's it right there. Kinda. Yeah, right, so what we did with our brakes, it still had the original master cylinder, and it's a dinky little thing, and it's rusty, and it's old, and it's kind of ugly, so I went with Willwood master brake cylinder. It's got ports on both sides, comes with a bunch of stuff. It's Willwood. It looks good under the hood, and you know it's good stuff. Tip to tail, everything's redone. New brake fittings where we could. We reused the old ones where we still have stock brakes on the back, and those are completely different fittings. Our calipers, obviously, Honda Civic 99 factory calipers. We just gave them a nice shot of paint to match the car. Flex lines to match our calipers, and we made the rear flex line from a Honda Civic work with the setup as well. It's easy stuff to find, it's really cheap, and anybody can get their hands on that stuff, so that's why we're trying to use normal parts rather than weird British stuff. The rotors are from a 2012 Ford Fiesta. It's the same bolt pattern, 4-bolt, 4x108, and they just so happen to sit perfectly where we needed to. Same thickness as the Honda Civic rotors. And like I said, the rear brakes are stock. We found some good brakes on a parts car, the Anglia that we bought. They're in great shape. They were replaced recently before they junked that car, so we're going to stick with that for now because it was a lot of work building that bracket for the front disc brake swap. It's the hard way, that's not a problem. That's what we like to do.
And talking about the brackets and the caliper, since we put the brackets and the caliper on the front of the car, obviously it takes more room. that small tire on the Cortina is close to the strut to begin with. So we needed to find a tire, a wider tire, in fact, and try to find the offset that's far enough that it wouldn't touch the strut. We went with an American racing rim, and we ended up buying Falcons, which were 195/60 R14s, and they're actually really great tires. I was the one that put them on. They're one of the best tires I ever had to work on. They fit in right nicely, didn't force the machine, so they were really good to work with.
They're a really popular tire too, right?
Well, yeah, Hoonigan uses them on most of their car. If you go on their videos, you see the same pattern on their wheels, so they're really great.
So that means something.
Especially for a rubber that seems to be really tense, it was pretty easy to put on.
And affordable.
So we were gonna make this episode a brake and suspension one, but the suspension parts didn't come yet.
Right, yeah. See, we ordered ourselves a Coney cut-a-strut insert, which we'll get more into when we actually receive it, but it's a strut insert with variable valving, so we'll be able to adjust the suspension. But when I ordered it, they sent me an email saying the manufacturer pushed my ETA to 60 to 65 days plus, so we'll get more into that when we receive it.
Yeah, isn't that because they're making it as they're getting ordered too?
I figured, they
Yeah.
make them to order.
So hopefully, whenever they come, it might be a while. We're gonna make a video of that, and if it takes longer than it's suspected, we're gonna try to keep this channel going and keeping you guys entertained while we're waiting for that part to come in. And that's gonna probably be a pretty long video too of putting that on. And
Yeah, we'll get right into that and show you exactly how it's done and why it's not sketchy to cut a strut.